Hello everyone and welcome to our next and much delayed video that is all about ASMR. I have to give you fair warning as well because this is not an ASMR video, but merely an educational video about the subject. This is mainly because I am prone to being very loud, as I did come from a big family after all, where it's easy to get lost in a sea of noise and drama, but I digress. Now, you may have come across ASMR on YouTube or on some other platform on the internet before, as it is a very popular subject or experience. If you haven't, then feel free to type in ASMR into the YouTube search bar or Google search bar and take a look at the thousands of videos uploaded. For those of you who don't know what it is, then don't worry, it is safe to view. Or at least I haven't seen one that was unsafe to view, at least. So what is ASMR? Well, it is an acronym for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, and can be quite difficult to explain for those who haven't experienced it. Classically, it's expressed as a tingling sensation in the scalp, lower neck, and upper spine. While this tingling, or buzzing, may not be experienced by everyone, it's still usually a warm and relaxing feeling that is considered pleasurable. Almost like low-tier euphoria, as I've heard it being called before. It can be triggered in a number of ways, voluntarily or involuntarily, by a large variety of stimuli involving visual, tactile, and auditory sensory. I myself have watched a fair few of these videos, as they generally can be quite relaxing, which I suppose would be the ultimate purpose of them in the first place. In fact, even performing mundane tasks can suit the purpose of ASMR, such as shuffling paperwork or preparing food. The repetitive nature and simplicity of these actions can also be linked to a form of meditation due to a single focus required to perform the tasks. With regards to ASMR being a science or a pseudoscience, it is generally agreed that the field of experience exists, but there's very little work done that is required to explain in full detail the hows and the whys of ASMR. Now don't get me wrong, there are many ASMR experts on the subject, but as far as legitimate scientific research goes, there is very little. This may be due to the fact that ASMR, and the modern fascination with it, is actually very new, with the term ASMR itself only being coined around 2010. The term ASMR itself is vaguely scientific, and it was coined as part of a Facebook group, as far as we know, soon to be adopted by the practice as a whole. It is unsure when the first ASMR video first hit the internet, with a conscious effort to trigger the experience, as it is argued that videos which often cause an ASMR experience existed long before, but they just didn't consciously do it. Despite the relatively new focus on ASMR, with the rise and popularity of it, it has also been cited in previous works, comparable to a form of ASMR in the past, suggesting the phenomena has been around for a very long time. But for some reason, interest in identifying and exploring has only been fairly recent. A good example of a piece of literature that suggests something comparable to ASMR is written in Mrs. Dalloway, published in 1925 and written by Virginia Woolf, which describes the nursemaid's voice while she speaks as deeply, softly, like a mellow organ, but with a roughness in her voice, like a grasshopper's, which rasped his spine deliciously and sent running up into his brain waves of sound. And I think that's pretty much on the money for what we're talking about here. One of the more common forms of direct ASMR you may have come across are binaural recordings, where the creator simulates noises through the acoustics of a three-dimensional environment. This usually involves multiple microphones to project the noise through different speakers or headphones. The creator usually whispers to the camera or can often tie this in with roleplay for the purpose of a video, in order for them to be close to the camera, giving reference for the three-dimensional acoustics. For example, getting an examination or haircut roleplay. However, two of the most common traits seen in nearly all ASMR videos is being softly spoken and or whispering, as well as direct attention, and it's probably easy enough to figure out why. I have to say, I experienced ASMR a very long time ago before it hit the internet consciously, and even I wasn't aware of what it was at the time. This was at a hospital where they had a pain room. Now don't be fooled by the name, it was actually for patients suffering from chronic pain and ailments, where they would sit on this big comfy leather chair that reclined. The room was empty save for some coloured neon lighting, a music system and a projector that would project coloured patterns onto the walls. Combine this with the playing of soft music, acupuncture at certain points, and delicate massage of the hands, then the patients always fell asleep within about 5-10 minutes. I tried this myself and I was out like a light, no matter how hard I tried to resist. Although admittedly I didn't try to resist that hard. Since then, ASMR has also been used somewhat unofficially as a complementary therapy for a while now and can be used to help people suffering from insomnia, anxiety, panic attacks, depression, and several other mental and physical conditions. It is also often used alongside massage and acupuncture, as mentioned earlier, for example. Now, while scientific research is steadily revving up due to modern interest in the subject, there have been several commentaries and theories based on what we already know. Perceived as mostly perceptual, and because the biological process isn't clearly identified, one popular discussion is the evolutionary origins of ASMR and its relevant function and benefit historically as a species. One of my favourite descriptions of the existence of ASMR is because the sensation is nearly always perceived by the nature of soft, tender touch, is non-threatening with the reception of dedicated attention, as mentioned before with getting your hair cut, combed or played with, that in fact it could be related to an act of physical grooming, similarly observed in primates who use grooming to bond with each other. So there we have it, a bit more of a shorter video as it's more of a feeling of the subject, as there isn't much information available apart from your own experience and the experience of others. So feel free to explore the world of ASMR on YouTube or any other platform that you choose, as many sites are jam-packed with the stuff. And let us know down in the comments whether this is something you are familiar with or have enjoyed already. And of course, please let us know any suggestions for future videos, and by all means, subscribe if you feel so inclined. And we'll see you next time.